This is the Samsung Frame TV. I really wanted to love this TV, I did, but I don't. Sure, on paper it looks great. Art TV, thin bezels, flush mount, matte finish. What's not to like? Well, everything else. Operating system, the interface, the remote, the OneConnect box, the installation. There's so many issues with this TV, and I'm gonna go through my experiences with you. Let's start with the design and the installation. Sure, this TV has very thin bezels and it sits flush to the wall, which is great. But where's the frame? Where's the artwork frame? Other brands like Hisense give you the magnetic frame in a nice teak color to start with, and then you can change it if you need to. Samsung gives you nothing. For this 50-inch model, I'd have to pay $150 for a nice frame to snap on directly from Samsung. And yes, there's other third-party options, but a lot of them just go even more expensive and more premium. So if you want a nice looking wood frame, you're paying extra. Then there's the OneConnect box. Samsung has a little black box called the OneConnect box, and it's nice because you just run one little thin wire from the TV, which houses all of your technology and ports and all that stuff. And that's great, but if you want the TV to look like art hanging on the wall, then you need to install a media box behind the TV and jam that in there. Or you could run the OneConnect wire through the wall and pop it out on the bottom. I installed a big media box which is behind this TV, and the OneConnect box is sitting in there. Now I'm sure in some setups, like if it's right above a media center or if it's on a stand, this will work great. But hanging on the wall, it's not ideal. But I'm not going to dwell on this too much. For some people, the OneConnect box will work out great, and for others, it won't. Then there was the installation, which ended up being a nightmare. There's literally two brackets, and they give you a template so everything lines up perfectly. And although I had my measurements down pat before I drilled anything, I had everything absolutely perfect. And when I went to hang the TV up, the brackets did not match. I literally took out all the screws, remeasured, did it again, hung it up again, still didn't match perfectly. I had to just kind of hang it the way it was and kind of jam it in there. And the second time I did it, I had help from somebody else. I had two eyes on this and it still didn't match up right. But still, I would prefer just one bracket. Now, I did get it nice and flat on the wall at the exact height I wanted. It wasn't all bad. Everything worked out for the most part. But I've installed other art TVs like the Hisense, which was so much easier. It was ridiculous. Okay, so possibly my biggest gripe out of everything is the interface, the operating system. Having to interact with this TV sucks. I mean, sure, if you bought this TV just because it's flat and it goes flat against the wall, sure, plug an Apple TV or a Roku stick into it and, that's it. But I think most people want to take advantage of art mode, so then you're relying on Samsung Tizen, their own operating system, which is garbage in my opinion. So in case you don't have experience with this operating system, let me show you. First, I'm going to press the home button. All right, there's the home screen. First of all, not a fan of sponsored ads on my home screen, but Google TV does this too. Okay, so check this example out. I want to go to settings because I want to adjust some things, right? All right, here's the settings menu. But wait, what's happening? What is it doing? I'm trying to adjust settings and it starts playing some weird channel on Samsung TV Plus or something. Why would they think that when I want to open settings, I want TV happening in the background? Does this make sense at all? I don't know if you noticed that, but it did say I can press the settings button on the remote instead. Okay, so it didn't switch my screen this time to show that Samsung channel, but it's playing right behind there. You see that? It just started playing this content in this little preview window here. Like, what's up with that? Not to mention, I was watching something on HBO Max. I exited back to the home screen. It was still playing the show in that little box. If I exit out of an app, I don't want to see the show keep playing in there. I'm trying to pause it. I'm trying to get out of there and watch it later. It also keeps taking me to whatever Samsung TV Plus is. Now, check this out. You scroll to the bottom, and now there's more settings hidden down here. I mean, who designed this? Now let's scroll all the way back up top. What's going on? Now it's playing an ad for Matlock? Now, of course, here's the app screen. I always get recommended apps. I've deleted most of these apps, but I still get this recommended app bar instead of my apps, which I'd rather see. Oh, there they are down here. Oh wait, actually, only a few of these are mine. They've installed tons of bloatware, although Samsung's kind of known for that, right? And even SmartThings is super annoying. I don't know how many people use SmartThings to control their smart home, so sure, it's convenient to be able to operate your TV from your phone, But then I get constant alerts popping up on my Samsung phone saying, hey, you want to turn on your TV? And, I had to shut all that stuff off anyway. And personally, I'm a Google Home person. Okay, so let's talk about art mode. Art mode looks amazing. It really does. The screen is beautiful. It has such a nice matte finish and it dims the brightness for you. And in person, it really looks nice. That said, the interface is still confusing, frustrating, and just kind of laid out all over the place. Yeah, I could tap a button. Looks like I can change the matte on this particular image, which is nice, as well as the matte color. I don't like the matte. My matte, and you can select different photo filters. I don't think these look very good. And then there's the art menu. So one of the big complaints is that Samsung gives you like 20 or so pieces of artwork which rotate, and they're not that good. But if you want to pay $4.99 a month, you have access to tons of art. Now listen, if this is your thing and you're really into artwork, sure, $4.99 a month is not that bad. Except that a lot of us just have so many subscriptions. Everything's subscription based. So you really want to pile another $5 onto that? So you could also search for your own artwork, or maybe you already have it on your computer. Make sure it's in the right resolution and format, and you could send it right to the TV using the SmartThings app. Or you can use a USB stick and plug it into the OneConnect box. I can't because it's jammed behind my TV. And I'll say too that uploading photos using the SmartThings app wasn't a breeze either. Lots of little glitches here. Okay, I'm gonna hit resume play. There we go, now it's a slideshow. Okay, that's just the picture settings. Oh, here we go, here's the slideshow options, perfect. And of course, if you scroll all the way to the bottom, there's some more settings. Okay, so let's talk briefly about casting and Airplay. It's not doing a great job casting. All right, I think it's working now. But that's casting from an Android device, to a Samsung TV. Yeah, it's definitely glitchy. Let's try with an Apple device instead. Okay, so casting is working from the iPad. I don't know why I was having trouble from my Samsung phone. Okay, let's try that again with the same video to give it an even playing field. Connecting. All right, there it goes. So casting works okay both from iOS and from Android. Okay, so let's talk about the video quality. Now, I don't like to nitpick too much about video quality. It's 4K, it looks great, and let's be honest, this isn't going to translate correctly anyway. I have a camera shooting the TV, and you're watching it on whatever device you're watching it on. You really have to see the video in person. But yeah, no complaints here. The video looks great. If you're someone who's just ultra nitpicky about video and having the absolute best video quality possible, you're probably looking at much higher end options than this. I love good picture quality, but a nice 4K TV from Samsung, good enough for me. So I have no complaints at all about the video quality. And again, that goes for watching TV, movie, any video, or in art mode. Great all around. And you know what? While we're at it, let's talk about audio. So there isn't a real great way to demo the audio, but you know what? It's pretty good for a TV like this. For a flush-mounted art TV, the audio's not bad. Now, if you're really into high-end audio and you want that immersive experience, you're going to connect this with an external setup, like a soundbar or a whole home theater surround sound setup. So the audio is good for what it is, but it's not going to be anything to write home about. Now, of course, there's a lot of people interested in gaming. It has an entire gaming hub where you don't even need to connect a game console to it. It even lets you pair your existing controllers, like for Xbox or PlayStation or Nintendo Switch, but I couldn't even pair my controllers with this TV. It gave me the option of a Nintendo Switch 2 controller, and the TV cannot even find it. So I couldn't go that route. Then I noticed that the PlayStation DualShock controller was an option. That doesn't work either. And sure, there's games that I can play just using the controller, but really, come on. Am I interested in playing a game from 1980 on an $800 frame TV? So yeah, there's tons of content. You can supposedly connect your controllers to it. You can play games from Xbox. You can play games that don't require a console. So sure, this feature looks impressive. Maybe you can get it working better than I could. Again, really cool features, but not very user-friendly. Lots of glitches. Lots of loading. Always loading. Now, if you are a hardcore gamer, you can plug your brand new PlayStation 5 right into one of these TVs, but just pay attention with which model and which size you get. Some of them, like this 50-inch, max out at 60 Hz. There are larger models that are 144 Hz that would perform much better for you. So if you're a hardcore gamer, make sure to read the specs and check on the refresh rate if that's important to you. Then there's the remote, and I'm not sure if I like it or not. I think I could go either way on this. Positives to the remote are that it's really small and compact, which I like, and it's also solar powered, so you never have to replace the batteries. It has a microphone, but nowadays all remotes have that, right? However, this TV's in my bedroom and this white remote just gets lost in my sheets all the time. It would be great if it lit up or something so I can see it in the dark. And yeah, I don't know, I guess it's decent. I think I just prefer a larger, more fully featured remote, but I do love the solar power idea. At the time of this video, the 65-inch model is $1197, the 55-inch is $897. I actually got the 50-inch on sale for $797, although right now it seems to be $997. So the prices are a little all over the place, plus I'm doing this around the holiday time too. Okay, so let's wrap this up. I think the Samsung Frame TV has a lot of positives, but also a lot of glaring negatives. So for the positives, it's a really beautiful looking flush mounted TV with very thin bezels. The picture quality is really nice. The sound is really impressive for a TV this thin. It has some really cool gaming features if you could get them to work, or at least work with your controller. And of course, as an art TV, it does look really nice. And it has lots of other features packed in, whether you like it or not. Then of course there's the OneConnect Box, which could be either a positive or a negative. As far as negatives go, I think the operating system is so annoying. It's clunky, it's difficult to navigate. The settings menu is horrible. You either have to pay for a subscription to the art store or upload your own art manually, which can be a pain. If you want a nice frame around your TV, you have to pay extra for it. The remote, which is just okay. Now again, I'm not trying to shoot down the Frame TV. I think there are a lot of situations where you might say, yes, this is right for me, and you may not experience the same frustrations I did. But for me, I just want to hang the TV on the wall and have it look like a beautiful piece of artwork when I'm not using it. And when I am using it, I just want to have a nice user-friendly experience. And yeah, I don't want a TV that's constantly annoying me. I don't want to have to fight with my TV to get it to play nice. So yeah, lots of great features, looks great on paper, great specs. Not for me. If you enjoyed this brutally honest review, please subscribe to my channel. I would greatly appreciate it. If you have a different opinion, feel free to leave it in the comments. And thanks so much for watching.